Okay, now we'll take up the next part of this module, that is third module, Fourier representation of periodic signals. Okay, Fourier representation of periodic signals. Before going to the Fourier representation, why Fourier series is required? Anybody can tell me what is the use of this Fourier series? Why I have to write the Fourier series or Fourier transform? Actually, there are basically two parts: Fourier series and Fourier transforms. Fourier series is written for generally periodic signals. Fourier transform is generally written for aperiodic signals. Any of you can tell me what actually a Fourier series is doing or Fourier transform is doing for the signal? Why I have to apply Fourier transform or Fourier series equivalent of a signal? What information about the signal this Fourier series is giving? Any of you? Why Fourier series?
Image processing.
Okay, but what a Fourier series is doing? Suppose I apply Fourier series. Suppose I written equivalent of a signal x of t. I'll written in terms of, let us say, x of k Fourier series. What information about this signal this Fourier series is giving? Why I should apply the Fourier series? Yeah. Anybody?
Don't know, sir.
See here, a Fourier series basically represents a continuous time signal. Here I taken continuous time x of t, a continuous time signal into infinite series of complex exponentials. Basically, in other words, any signal is expressed in terms of infinite sum of sine and cosinusoidal signals. In other words, you will come to know what all are the frequency components that are present in the given signal. For example, if I give a square wave of 100 hertz. So by applying Fourier series, you will come to know the square wave is composed of many sinusoidal signals and cosinusoidal signals of different frequency, let's say 100 hertz, 200 hertz, 300 hertz, 400 hertz with varying amplitudes. So the square wave of 100 hertz is basically consists of 100 hertz, 200 hertz, 300, 400, 500, 1000, so on and so forth. Many frequency components of sine and cosinusoidal waves. Okay, this is the basic idea. Any signal can be written in terms of sinusoidal and cosinusoidal functions. That is the fundamental idea of Fourier series. Are you able to understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then tell me, I have broken a signal into, let us say, sinusoidal and cosinusoidal signals of various frequencies. What is the use of doing this one? Why I should do this one? Why I should do this one? I am happy with Fourier, the square wave of 100 hertz only. In time domain, I'm very happy. Why I should break into frequency domain and know these are all the frequency components that are present in the signal? Why should I do that? Any of you? Why should I do this process actually? See here, the basic idea behind this is, let us say if you want to design a filter. So let us say low pass filter for 1 kilohertz. What is the meaning? This filter will pass the frequencies up to 1 kilohertz. Frequencies means what? All sinusoidal signals only. Frequencies for sinusoidal signal only. Even though frequency exists for square wave, triangular wave, all those things, here frequency of sinusoidal signal which is 1 kilohertz, that is the meaning. For example, for the same low pass filter, if you give a square wave of frequency 1 kilohertz, the output will not become square wave. Only at lower frequencies 100 hertz and 200 hertz it may become square wave. But if you increase the frequency up to 1 kilohertz, it will not become square wave, it will simply give the sinusoidal output only. That is a limitation of this one. So if you want to filter a square wave, then you have to design, instead of 1 kilohertz, let's say 10 kilohertz or 20 kilohertz. The sinusoidal signal of 1 kilohertz only will be filtered by your low pass filter, not a square wave or triangular wave or sawtooth wave of 1 kilohertz. If you give say other waves which are of 1 kilohertz, then your filter may not work. So suppose you want to design a filter for non-sinusoidal signals, then what is the frequency components up to which you are permitting, so that they will be filtered by your filter. How do I know that? I will come to know only by writing the Fourier series equivalent of the signal, which will break the signal into multiple frequency components. So up to which frequency you are allowing the signal to pass through the filter, if you decide, then for that frequency you are going to analyze the signal. So wherever you want to know what are all the frequency components that are present in a non-sinusoidal signal, then you can use the Fourier series. For sinusoidal signal, there is only a single frequency component. Okay, for that Fourier series is not required. If any signal which is non-sinusoidal signal, you can understand by writing the Fourier series that what are the frequency components that are present. In this section, actually, we are looking only into continuous time signal. Okay, so we are not looking into discrete time signal. That will come in the next subsequent sessions. In that continuous time, I'm looking only at the Fourier series. Fourier series is written for the signals which are periodic in nature. Okay, so this is a restriction. X of t is a periodic signal with a fundamental period t naught. Then I am representing this signal x of t by infinite sum of complex exponential. X of k is a Fourier series coefficient e power jk omega naught t. What is your omega naught? Omega naught is the angular frequency defined by 2 pi by 2 pi f naught, that is equal to 2 pi by t naught. Now what is x of k? How do you obtain x of k? X of k is obtained from x of t only. See here, x of k is equal to 1 by t naught, where t naught is a fundamental period. Integral, remember this symbol less than or more t naught more than indicates for one complete period. Why we wrote for one complete period? X of t is a periodic signal. What is the property of periodic signal? A periodic signal repeat itself over indefinite amount of time. I cannot integrate this one for indefinite amount of time. That is why I concentrate only for one complete period. So taking into consideration of one complete period, I'll write x of t into, send this side, e power minus jk omega naught t dt. Okay, so this symbol indicates integration is performed over one complete period of x of t. What is our aim? Given a signal x of t, my aim is to obtain Fourier series coefficients. Once I obtain Fourier series coefficients, I can represent this x of t into sum of exponentials. An exponential is e power jx is nothing but some cos plus sine. So it is as good as saying I'm representing the signal in terms of sine and cosinusoidal signal. Okay. Any doubt till now? Yeah, Sahana, tell. Any doubt? Are you able to follow? Hmm? Okay. Once there are only two equations, only one you can remember. So x of t is nothing but this you send this side and integration for a particular cycle. Now, first equation, this is x of t is equal to x of k into e power j k omega naught t for summation minus infinity to plus infinity is known as synthesis equation. That is, x of t is synthesized from its Fourier series coefficients by using this equation. And second equation is called as analysis equation. What actually you're doing in the second equation? You are analyzing x of t to obtain Fourier series coefficients. That's why first one is synthesis equation, second one is a analysis equation. Generally, I'll be given x of t. So what I will do, I'll obtain x of k. By using x of k, I'm going to obtain x of t once again. Okay. Now, the constants x of k, which you are obtaining, x of k are numbers only. They are called as complex Fourier coefficients. Okay. And when you put when you put 0, k is equal to 0, then what happens? You are going to get in this equation, if you give 0, this term will become 1 and this will become a constant term. This constant is known as average value of the signal or DC value of the signal. For some signals, average will be 0. For some signals, average will be a finite quantity. So x of 0 always represents the DC value of the given signal. Okay. Now, just like Z transform, I'll write x of n, Z transforms to x of z. Similarly, here also I'll write x of t is your input signal that is in the time domain. This Fourier series, when I apply a Fourier series to x of t, this will become x of k. So x of k represents the Fourier coefficients. Okay, so Fourier coefficients which can be used to represent x of t from the synthesis equation. Okay, once you understand this one, okay, I'll go to certain problems. Okay, let us take x of t. X of t is equal to sine of omega t. What is the Fourier series coefficients and draw the spectrum. Now what I will do, when they give the problem in terms of equation, what I will do, I'll write x of t is equal to sine of omega naught t. What is sine of omega naught t? Expressed in terms of e power jt. Sine of x is equal to e power jx minus e power minus jx divided by 2j. Instead of x, whatever I have, omega naught t. Okay. So now what I will do, I know only the analysis equation, that is x of k, x of t is equal to summation from k equal to minus infinity plus infinity x of k into e power j k omega naught t. So give the values, there are only two terms. So I'll restrict what is the value here? Omega naught t I have. So k must be plus 1. Here omega naught t into minus 1 I have. So maximum value I can get is plus 1 and minus 1 only. There is no need to give minus 2 and plus 2 because those terms are not present. So evaluate this term only between minus 1 to plus 1. So give equation minus 1. When you give minus 1, what happens? X of minus 1 into e power j omega naught into minus 1 into t. That's what I written. X of minus 1 into e power minus j omega naught t plus give 0. X of 0, this will become e power j0, that will become 1. So that is x of 0 plus give 1, x of 1 into e power j omega naught t plus. See here, if you give x of 2, it will become e power j 2 omega naught t. Here e power minus j 2 omega naught t, so on and so forth. So now compare the equations 1 and 2. So compare the coefficients of e power j omega naught t and e power minus j omega naught t. Let us look into this one. What is the coefficient of e power j omega naught t in this equation? 1 by 2j. Therefore, I'll write when k is equal to 1, see here, when k is equal to 1, I'll get 1 by 2j. This I written. Similarly, when k is equal to minus 1, I will get minus 1 by 2j. So I have written here. Okay, next, when k becomes 0, when k becomes 0, this quantity will become 1. So I'm getting only x of 0. X of 0 is nothing but equal to 0. See here, there are no terms which are constants in this equation. You have only two terms and both of them are multiplied with either plus j omega naught t or minus j omega naught t. There are no constant terms, hence x of 0 is equal to 0. Understood? Any doubt here? Any doubt in the problem?
No, sir. No,
Okay.
no doubt, sir.
See here. What is x of 0 in this equation? 0. Therefore, average value of the sinusoidal signal is 0. Agree or disagree? Agree? Average value of a sinusoidal signal is 0. That is, integral between 0 to t, sine of omega t will become 0. If you add all the values, because sine is equal on the positive side and equal on the negative side. Therefore, if you add all the values of a sinusoidal signal, it will simply become 0. That's what the equation is saying to you. This proves you that average value of the sinusoidal signal is 0. Agree? Okay. Once you do this one, let us say when you are plotting, you have to plot only absolute values. That you have to remember carefully. That's why I've shown you modulus of x of k. So when it is 0, I'll show only 3 points, plus 1, minus 1 with axis k. When it is 0, it is 0. When it is 1, it will become 1 by 2. So I'll show 1 by 2. and 1 it is -1, then mod absolute of this value will become 1/2 only. Don't take j into consideration, only it's a magnitude plot. So magnitude plot means modulus of this one is plus 1/2, modulus of this one also is plus 1/2. So that's why I shown it is 1, 1/2 at 1 and -1, it is 1/2. And what is the angle? So at 0, you don't have anything. At 1, it is plus 90 degrees. Okay. And at 2, it become minus 90 degrees. So J corresponds to plus 90, minus J corresponds to minus 90. Therefore, you have angle plot like this and modulus plot like this. This is how you are going to show modulus of x of j and angle of x of j. Okay. So this is how, if I can show, even if I give cos also, it look very similar because both of them will look plus 1/2, minus 1/2. Where you are going to observe the changes in the angle of x of k. So when you want to know whether the signal is sinusoid or cosinusoid, you have to look both at the magnitude as well as the sign. Magnitude will give you absolute values only. Therefore, angle plot will tell you whether the plot is for sinusoidal signal or it is for non-sinusoidal signal. Okay. Any doubt in this problem?
No, sir.
Okay. Now I'll take one more problem of similar kind, cos of 4t plus sine of 80. So break it into cos of omega naught 1t plus sine of omega naught 2t. Okay. So what is your omega naught 1? Omega naught 1 is equal to 4. And what is your omega naught 2? It is 8. When two different omegas you have in a signal, then obtain omega is equal to GCD of omega naught 1 and omega naught 2. What is GCD? Greatest common divisor. Which is a factor maximum value which divides both 4 and 8? 4 only, because 4 will divide 4 also, 4 will divide 8 also. There are no values which is above 4 which will divide both of them. Therefore, I have chosen GCD of both of them as 4. Now what I will do, I'll break the signal x of cos of omega t into e power jt and e power minus jt. Look here, 1/2 e power j 4t plus 1/2 to e power minus j 4t. This corresponds to cos. Cos of this one is written as in this form. See here, this will correspond to this one. Next, sine. Sine of x is 1/j80 minus 1/minus j80 divided by 2j. So this sign corresponds to these two values. Now what I will do, I'll write in terms of omega naught. How do you can write in omega naught? Omega naught is 4 only. So I'll write e power j omega naught t plus e power minus j omega naught t plus 1/2j. Here it is 8. 8 is written as 4 into 2. Well, 4 is omega naught. So I'll write it is e power j omega naught t only multiplied by 2. Similarly, minus 1/2j into e power j omega naught t multiplied by minus 2. So that's the difference between here. It is plus 1 minus 1. It is plus 2 minus 2. So you have to express the signal in terms of omega naught. Whole idea is only find omega naught and then express given signal in terms of omega naught. Are you able to follow this one? Are any doubt you have? Any doubt till now?
No, sir.
No, sir.
I'll write this equation once again. I know the basic equation x of k t equal to k equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of k e power j k omega naught t. So what happens? Omega naught is present. So 1 omega naught and minus 1 omega naught. See here, when you give plus 1, this term you are going to get. When you give minus 1, you are going to get this one. When you give plus 2, you are going to get this term. When you give minus 2, you are going to give this term. So what should be the variation of your k here? What is the variation of k here? What's the variation of k by comparing these two equations?
Minus 2 to 2.
Plus 2. Okay, minus 2 to plus 2. That's what I'll write. See here, x of minus 2 into e power j omega naught t into minus 2 plus x of minus 1 into e power j omega naught into minus 1 into t. When you give 0, it will become x of 0. When you give 1, it will become x of 1 into j power j omega naught t plus x of 2 into e power j omega naught t into 2. So I simply given the values minus 2 to plus 2 in this equation are written. This what I will do, I'll compare with this equation. this equation, whatever I have written, this equation and this equation, I am going to compare. So when, see here, x of minus 2 into e power j omega naught into minus 2. So minus 2 and minus 2 is telling j omega naught minus 2t is telling what is the value of x of minus 2? X of minus 2 is minus 1 by 2j. So writing the coefficients. So x of minus 2 is nothing but minus 1 by 2j. Next, what is x of minus 1? X of minus 1 is e power j omega naught into minus 1 into t, that is equal to 1 by 2. So I'll write 1 by 2 here, k equal to minus 1. Similarly, when k equal to plus 2, what happens when k equal to plus 2? K equal to plus 2, it is 1 by 2j. So because here it is 2, I'll write 1 by 2j. When k is equal to 1, same way it is 1 by 2. See here, patterns are very much symmetric. Okay, so k equal to minus 1 plus 1, you have 1 by 2 and minus 1, both of them are 1 by 2, and k equal to minus 2, you have minus 1 by 2j, and k equal to plus 2, you have 1 by 2j. What about x of 0? See here, x of 0, there are any terms? No, because all of them are associated with e power j omega naught t in one or the other manner. Therefore, x of 0 will become 0. See here, x of 0 is equal to 0, the tangent. So any other values, this value x of k will become 0. Okay, these are nothing but x of k. So you can plot the magnitude and the phase variation for this one. Okay, so at k equal to minus 1, plot 1 by 2, k equal to plus 1, you plot 1 by 2, and k equal to 2, again 1 by 2, k equal to minus 2, also it is 1 by 2. All the way plus 1, minus 1, plus 2, minus 2, all the way it is 1 by 2 only, because absolute values are plotted. At 0 it is 0 only. So one cycle we can show the plot of this one. Okay. Any doubt? Are you able to follow this one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, in the previous, look at this previous problem also. It is sum of sine and cos. This is also periodic signal. This is also periodic signal. So both sine and cos average values are 0. Therefore, this signal also has an average value 0, just like the first problem. Now, I'll take a slight different version. In this one, obtain the Fourier series representation of the waveform. Here onwards, I'll give waveform to you. So how do you write the Fourier series equivalent of this waveform? This is your x of t versus t. T is here minus 1, it is 0, plus 1, 2 to 3, and this one. So what is the value of t naught? See here, I'll start with minus 1. So it will become 1. And once again, the signal rises to 1 at 3. See here, signal rises to 1 at minus 1 and signal rises to 1 at 3. So what is the total value? This is 2 samples, it is 0, and 2 samples, it is 1. So what is the total period of the signal? 2 plus 2, that is 4. First, identify the period of the signal. Once you identify the period of the signal, write the value of the signal. See here, when I have chosen the limit from minus 2 to plus 2. You are free to choose minus 1 to 3 also. One complete period wherever you choose. So you can start from minus 3 to minus 1 and minus 1 to plus 1 also. One complete period must be taken care wherever you can start. You can start from minus 2 to plus 2 or minus 1 to plus 3 or 0 to 4 also. Choice is yours. So now I'll write minus 2 to minus 1. What is the value of the signal? 0. Next, 1 to 2, the value is once again 0. So minus 1 to 1, the value is 1. Write the definition of the signal within the interval chosen. I have chosen from minus 2 to plus 2. You can choose from anywhere else. If you choose from minus 1 to plus 3, what happens? Minus 1 to plus 1, signal will become 1, and 1 to 3, signal will become 0. That's all. You can write the definition, but what you do know, while you choose the intervals, try to choose a symmetric values, that is plus 2 minus 2, plus 1 minus 1, minus 3 plus 3, like this you choose, so that it becomes easy for integration. Otherwise also you can integrate, there's no problem, but this is the easier way to do this one. Now what is the equation? X of k is equal to 1 by t naught, integral for a period of t naught, x of t into e power minus jk omega naught t. First obtain omega naught. Omega naught is 2 pi by t naught. What is your t naught? 4. Therefore, it will become pi by 2. So, I'll write 1 by 4. T naught is 4. Therefore, integral. What is the integral limit? Minus 2 to plus 2 is the total limit. out of which the first part and last parts are 0. So where the signal is existing? Signal is existing between -1 to +1. Therefore, even though it is T0, -2 to +2, I shown the interval between -1 to +1 only. This you have to clearly understand. X of t into e power minus jk omega naught t. This is equal to 1 by 4 integral from -1 to +1. What is the value of x of t? X of t is 1. So 1 into e power minus jk. What is your omega naught? Pi by 2 into t. So this I have to integrate and get the answer. Any doubt till now? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay, so you are writing the x of t and putting in the equation. That's all for one complete period. That you have to understand. Once I integrate this one, so integral of e power minus jx. So integral of e power minus jx is e power minus jx divided by minus jx. That's what I written. Minus j k pi by 2 into t minus j k pi by 2 from -1 to +1. So put the limit. So what happens? Here it is minus. What happens? E power minus jk pi by 2 minus e power plus jk pi by 2 it will become. What I had done is I taken minus this side. So what happens? It will become e power jk pi by 2 minus e power minus jk pi by 2. What remains in the denominator? Jk pi by 2. Are you able to follow this step? Or you can take minus one side and write the one more step. That's all. Are you able to follow the substitution?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now, look here carefully. 2 and 4 will get cancelled. 2 and 4 will get cancelled. What remains here? 2 only. This 2 is here. So what I have here? 2j k pi by 2. Okay, 2j and k pi by 2. What happens here? E power j k pi by 2, e power minus j k pi by 2 divided by 2j, you write. So what happens? Once you write 2j, take 2 into 2, 2j into this much, I'll write it as sine of k pi by 2. E power jx minus e power minus jx divided by 2j. So this entire term, this one, this entire term will become sine of k pi by 2. So what remains in the denominator? K pi by 2. What is taken here? 2 into 2. 1, 2 has went inside, remaining 2 is like this one. So written 1 by 2 outside and written sine of k pi by 2 by k pi by 2. The step is clear? Any doubt?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what you do? Give values for k and write the x of k. See here, I'll just go to the next step. So k equal to 0. What is sine of 0 by 0? Sine of 0 by 0 is 1. Okay, limit as n tends to 0, sine of n theta by theta is equal to n only. Therefore, when you give k equal to 0 in this equation, this will become 1. This entire term becomes 1. 1 into multiplied by 2 will become 1 by 2. Give k equal to 1. So sine of pi by 2 by pi by 2. Sine of pi by 2 is 1. 1 by pi by 2, that is into 2. So 2 gets cancelled, you have 1 by pi. Similarly, plus or minus 2. So when you give 2, it will become sine pi. Sine pi is 0. Therefore, this answer is 0. Similarly, for 4, also it is 0. So remaining values also you're going to find the values. So give the value for k and find the answer. That's what I'm going to do. So I've shown a plot k versus x of k. This is how you are going to find the Fourier series coefficient. Are you able to follow this one? Any doubt here?
No, sir.
Okay. So once again, the same set of problems. Find the Fourier series coefficients for x of t. So what's the period of signal now? What is the period of the signal in this one representation? See here, it is -1 here. At what point it is still -1? This one. So what is the difference? How much is the period of the signal?
2.
2. Very good. So period of the signal is 2. Once again, I'll write omega naught is 2 pi by t naught. That is equal to pi. X of t is equal to, what is the definition? It is a ramp signal. Look here. X of t is equal to t. At t equal to 0, it is 0. At t equal to 1, it is 1. At t equal to -1, it is -1. Therefore, I written x of t is equal to t only between minus 1 to plus 1. So the same signal repeats further. Therefore, there is no need to consider rest of the periods. Consider only one period. I'll write the same equation. X of k is equal to this much. So 1 by t naught, 1 by 2, integral from minus 1 to plus 1, x of t into e power j k omega naught t is written as cos of k pi t, because omega naught is pi, k pi t minus j sin of k pi t. Pi becomes, because omega naught is pi. Now, I'll split into two parts, t cos of k pi t minus j by 2 into t sin of k pi by t. See here, t is odd and this is even. Therefore, total integral is an odd value. Integral is an odd value means integral of an odd value simply gives you 0. Because integral of t, for example, odd into even gives you odd value. So integral of odd signal will become even signal. For example, integral of t only take. Integral of t is t square by 2. What's the limit from minus 1 by 2 to plus minus 1 to plus 1? It is 1 minus 1. It will become 0. Any signal which is odd within the integral will give you total value 0. Okay, when you integrate an odd signal, you are going to get an even signal. Even signal has the same value for plus 1 and minus 1. Hence, this integral will become 0. So what I will do, I'll integrate only the next signal. So minus j, I'll take outside. So 1 by 2, once again, I'll write t sin of k pi t. Okay, I missed 1 by 2 into 1 by 2, sorry, this one only. So I missed 1 by 2 here. So I'll take it up this way, t sin of k pi t dt. So minus j into, so this will become integral of t into integral of sin is cos k pi t divided by k pi minus of minus plus sin of k pi t into derivative of t is 1. So that I written divided by k square pi square. So the integration is shown here. Only the thing is I missed 1 by 2 here. That's the only difference. So one more thing I understand. This limit I taken from minus 1 to plus 1. This is odd and this is odd. Therefore, total signal will become even only. So integral of an even signal is written as 2 times integral from 0 to 1 of this signal. Are you able to know this one? So anything integrated between same limit from minus 1 to 1, an even signal is written as 2 times integral from 0 to 1 of 2 sine k pi t. That I have applied here. 2 gets cancelled. I have only minus j. Are you able to follow this one? Otherwise, what you have to do, you have to integrate separately. That's all. Integrate this one, put upper limit and lower limit. That's all. How you do is left to you. Okay, this is the one method I'm showing it to you. Again, when you apply this one, sine of pi is 0, sine of 0 is 0. So you got this value. So apply this for integration. 1, it will become 1 minus of minus plus j cos of pi k pi by k pi. And when it is 0, t will become 0. This value gets cancelled. So what is cos of k pi? Minus 1 power k and k pi. K should not become 0. When k becomes 0, this quantity will become infinity. Therefore, put a restriction when k is not equal to 0. What happens when you put k equal to 0? Go back to the equation 1. When you put k equal to 0, what happens in this equation? This term completely cancels. You are going to get k cos of 0, that is 1. You are going to get only t. So 1 by 2 integral from minus 1 to plus 1 t. That's what I written here. So what is the integration? T square by 2. So t square, when it is 1, it will become 1 minus t square when minus 1 also gives you 1. 1 minus 1 will give you 0. Therefore, x of k will become equal to 0. Is it clear to you? These are my answers. X of k is equal to j into minus 1 power k, k pi, and this is equal to 0. Are you able to follow? Any doubt? Any doubt now? Are you able to follow?
Yes, sir.
So I'll stop my class. My time up. Stop my class. Goodbye.